Are you? Is your face
Oh, hey
frozen,
there.
Fox? Or are
Okay.
you just? Am I
I'm
the
just
only
keeping
one?
real still. I don't know. Maybe it's frozen. Not to me.
Oh, really? No, it was frozen for me for a while. It was just you smiling, really creepy like, and I was like, "Are you doing that on purpose?"
Hi, YouTube.
No, no. It was like this. Hi, YouTube. Yes, Mitchell, introduce us, your radio show host voice, please.
You're listening to the Footprints of Enchea on KTIT, the greatest D&D on YouTube. We have
It.
yeah from Duke Nukem.
We have the
3D.
breast. I mean, the best D&D in town.
We
Yeah.
got balls of steel.
You've tried the best. Now try the rest.
Oh God. But yes, we're here to play Dungeons and Dragons. Hold on one second.
We'll sell you
I am
the
personally-
whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Yeah, and the toilet might also come in handy during the next couple hours. Don't pee where you're sitting. I'm trying out a new microphone technique, so I'm sorry if it's not loud enough for you. I do better GMing while I'm standing up, and now I have the capability to do just such a thing. So let me know if you guys can't hear me, and I will crank it up a little bit. We'll crank it up a
In other
notch.
words, coming at you live from Barker's closet.
No, it's not Barker's closet. I've been out of the closet for years now. Okay.
That sounds like a show on like the Disney Channel or Nickelodeon. Coming up next on Barker's Closet. Following
What's that remind me of? I can't remember this. Yeah, oh, Pete and Pete, baby. Oh man, that was good. It all went downhill when it started doing cat dog. No offense.
Oh my God! So basically, when the one side eats, the other side shits out of the mouth. That's the only thing I could ever think about when I watched that show.
It's like the human
But
centipede.
how does it work? Either he explodes, or the one side shits out of the mouth eventually at one point.
Its belly is a singularity.
Also, that means under the mouth there has to be the ones. Well, I'm not even gonna go.
When you're spoiling Barker's big
Look,
villain.
It's the perfect organism. Its body metabolizes everything perfectly. No waste. Cat dog is like the Thunderdome, except two men enter, no man.
Guys, you're spoiling Barker's villain.
What?
It's gonna be Cat Dog, right?
Jar Jar
Yes,
Cat Dog.
it's gonna be a Hydra with no butt.
No, it's gonna be Jar Jar Cat Dog.
Just like a flopping snake.
It's gonna be like cat. Both sides are Jar Jar Binks heads to make it extra creepy.
But it'll be a Hydra that has just as many asses as it does heads.
I'm gonna, just for the sake of the latency, I'm dropping mine to medium.
Okay.
Yeah,
So if we face a Hydra, what is our strategy?
Run.
Well, you gotta. Somebody has to like do fire damage as soon as one head gets chopped off.
No, man, check it out. I'm going
sorry.
with the Gary. I'm going with Gary's thing. We just ignore the heads. There's too much armor class up there. We start chopping dongs.
You know what?
Does it-
It's
only-
got-
does it-
we just get it, chop it up till it's got like 100 dongs. Show it some Hydra porn. Boom! All the blood leaves its head. Passes out.
Well, I can't do slashing
what
damage.
is,
I
That
guess I
reminds
can.
me of sessions including Retro Kaiser, okay? Because there was a game that I still haven't released.
What
where
is Mitchell doing?
I think he's looking up Hydra porn. Checking out that Hydra porn.
What is it?
I'm
Rule
speedballing
34.
nuts.
Oh yeah, man, that's a real thing. Hydra porn.
Nobody even asked what we're going to do with those leftover Hydra willies when we're done. 2 words. Flesh golem.
Okay, now it really reminds me of a session of my old Target
You're
games.
giving this a lot of thought, Fox. haven't you?
Okay, there was a
bad
guy.
time to say it. This is a bad time to say it, but it's too hot in
In
this
my
room.
first-
We need
in
to
my
turn
first-
on the AC.
Online D&D campaign that I ran, I had a guy was run by Jerry Terrifying, was Mungo the Nutbuster, and his thing was literally every enemy he would kill, he would ask, does it have testicles? And he would chop off the testicles, and he would have a testy necklace. So I had to think about, does a cryo hydra has outward hanging testicles and shit. Like, does that zombie still have testicles? So.
Wow, zombies still have testicles. That's
With all these
first
hybrids,
thing I heard.
Well, maybe.
the adult D&D market and sell them wholesale
Hold
to
on,
the
let's
lonely
see,
women of Enchea.
Let's see who gets this reference. My boyfriend's back and there's gonna be
Oh
I want
God!
to hear the rest of the song.
trouble.
I recognize the song. What's the reference?
There's a movie from the 90s called My Boyfriend's Back where a young man dies and then comes back as a zombie, and it's a comedy about him and his girlfriend, and there's a scene where they're making out and his ear comes off in her hand. And then they have this really awkward conversation which includes the question, what happens if other things start falling off?
Oh my gosh! You guys want
So
to play
that's what
D&D?
I thought of. Yes, let's. We've really set the tone for the Hobgoblin lair.
Understand? We're nerds. We've talked about sex for far too long. It's time to get down and play some D&D.
Enough of those zombie dicks. Let's play some D&D.
Yeah, enough of that. Enough of this nonsense.
Oh man, she
where
wants
did we leave off?
TV.
Where did we leave off, gentlemen?
I would
One
I had
inspiration
to
point for
contact
whoever.
Pokemon.
One
You fell
inspiration. One inspiration to the person who just can recap the last session up to the point where we departed.
I was
Alright, I
changing
can do
the
that.
wall.
Getting buried, and then you went to sleep.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to jump out here and say real quick that go fuck yourselves, because if one of us had planned their schedule according to the game,
Hey.
I would not have had the opportunity to
Hey.
fall asleep.
Hey, your game had been scheduled on Tuesdays, but no,
But that was
Mr.
like 2
Grown-Up
months ago.
Responsibility has a job,
I know.
and so
Sorry.
thanks that you moved your game onto my Pokemon or midnight release.
But I moved the game like 2 months ago.
But you gotta be the very best.
I know.
Yeah, but we pre-ordered this like also probably about 2 months ago.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you got to catch them
August.
all. So.
What is this
You gotta catch 'em all.
Pokemon talk here? Let's
So,
play the game.
who wants to recap the
I'm
session?
just kidding. I'm
I
kidding.
can
I'm
do it.
kidding.
I'm just
go
going to
ahead.
be writing down that inspiration point things.
Okay.
Okay, so we started the game last time. Before somebody went to sleep, I needed some beauty rest. But Helen
I don't need any
was
beauty
chained.
rest. Continue.
Helen is chained currently in a cell within the Hobgoblin lair, well, slightly outside of the civilization part, that Garthor has taken control of because he had slain what was the strongest warrior within the Hobgoblins. During which Garthor and Helen had discussed that maybe the best thing for them to do right now is to leave Helen chained, while Garthor basically figures out everything that's going on down here. During which we discovered that while Garthor is head of the Moonripper clan, he has to, as
Moon
the
Shadow
leader,
Clan, Ripper Clan.
Sorry. Well, you changed it when originally in the
I
second
can't-
session you called it Moonripper.
No,
Then confirm-
no, I didn't. I called it. No, I didn't. I changed it, but I did it on purpose. You just
Oh,
haven't
God damn it,
figured that
Parker.
out. No, it was the Dolgren called it the Moon Shadow Clan, and then called it the Ripper Clan. And at first it was elves, and then it was hobgoblins or
God
Oh
goblins.
yeah,
Damn it,
that's
Moon
not
Moon.
confusing.
Yeah, so basically, I shouldn't have said anything because, like, hey, I confused the shit out of you, and then expected you to remember it perfectly. My bad. It was supposed to be a one-shot. Okay, I had 30 minutes to
Yeah.
prepare. Continue.
But now Garthor has to meet with the other representatives, the other chieftains of the other Hobgoblin clans to discuss the goings-on of Enchea. During which the Dolgren, the elven woman, Salus, and her daughter Kalith are still MIA. And while we have been sending out search parties, or rather Garthor has been sending out Hobgoblin search parties, and I've been leading a few of them, we have not discovered them because the Hobgoblins are superstitious about the Dark Forest.
You know, if we still had a
Yeah.
ranger, they probably could have found him by now.
Maybe I have a spell for summoning one.
I actually never played a ranger. I was a rogue originally, remember?
But he'll be on fire, and he'll
Well, they
kill
are
everyone.
ranger.
Nope, rogue.
Nope, I was a rogue
No.
originally. Now I'm a hell.
My bad.
Now I'm a monk.
That's pretty. Yeah, go ahead.
And then we continued on, and Cassius had a rather interesting discussion of a character whose name I didn't write down because I never met him, so it wouldn't interfere with my player knowledge.
Oh, Slayer.
But he had true, yeah. But he talked with Cassius about basically turning against Garthor by using really flowery words and saying that Cassius, being a magic user, was much more powerful than Garthor was, and that he should be the one leading the Moonshadow clan.
Do you remember his name?
I didn't.
Slasher.
Cassius might. I didn't write it down because I hadn't met him.
What was that, Cassius?
That goblin's name was Slasher, but there was also a goblin before that when we first encountered them argued with the Vecna priest, which I forgot his name, and he was also pretty cool.
Moon.
What's that?
Moon.
No.
No, Esper is the former ruler of the Moonshadow, and then we have Warren as well as Mabel.
You have Render.
Render?
That's it.
Nope. Maybe I haven't told you that
I
name
think
yet.
it was Slasher.
Anyway, let's continue. You know what's
Slasher.
confusing? Okay, Slasher. The confusing thing is that we actually did stop in the middle of a session and we're picking up, so I am struggling to remember what of my notes you've known and what you don't. So let's just jump right in.
I would like to say, Barker, I have been mapping out the cave systems that I've been in so far with all the paper and stuff that Cassius had given me when we were in the lighthouse.
Yes, and you've basically discovered that this is not just an underground dungeon. This is not just some sort of dank underground cavernous hovel for hobgoblins. Okay, this is an underground city. I mean, they have like a tavern. They have a food system. They've kind of carved out this area for them to not only live but to exist for an extended period of time. And you start to get the impression that they actually have existed here for an extended period of time, up to maybe 4 or 5 years, which is pretty impressive for a group that has been solely confined to underground. What's a name for the tavern?
The
Jub.
The Jub.
Jub's Flying Dagger Inn. There we go. Let's combine. I don't know.
Jub's Flying Dagger Inn, and the reason it's called that is because these hobgoblins, in a raid on a coastal village, actually raided into Jub's Flying Dagger Inn and stole the sign and just put it up next to the inn. They don't know what flying means. They don't. 99% of these hobgoblins can't even speak common, so they don't know what any of these words mean. But that goes where tavern is. Basically.
They took it from an already existing tavern, and that's where they put it there.
Yes. Do you remember the name of kind of your right-hand man, Garthor? The hobgoblin that talks like this.
Esper, yeah. No, I have it written down.
Esper's the human.
No, wait, then I have Slasher, pale hobgoblin.
Yep, Slasher's a pale one.
I have here a bunch of stuff written down. Sadly, it's not really
That's okay.
clear.
That's okay. We're going to call him Reaver. I believe that's what it's...
Reaver actually sounds very familiar.
Mabel,
This is a conversation between Reaver and Esper, if I remember right.
Slasher.
Okay. What's his name?
Mabel. No, there is Mabel. Mabel was there. Mabel, Warren.
Mabel died. Mabel was just buried.
I think Ripper was the first badass goblin.
Ripper, that's him. Ripper, yes. Good job.
Ripper. I like Ripper.
Take an inspiration point. And
another
Ripper's
one.
good. Anyway, he approaches you. Yes, he approaches you and says, "Hail, Garthor."
Yes. Thank you. Well, what is the news? Do you have any news?
You're such an awkward leader. Yes, sir. Thank you. He says,
I'm a nerd, so what do you expect?
Yes, thanks. I appreciate the bow. No, he says, the tribes will be convening in but an hour, my lord. But first, I would like.
I would like to give you a tour of your new establishment.
Yes, it's about time. Let's do this.
Of course.
He says, he actually takes you through the mines that you entered through, the one filled with the zombies that were mining some sort of metal, which you in turn determined to be iron. And he explains that
None of the hobgoblins in any of the tribes are very fond of working. So, the undead brought to us by our priest of Vecna, the Almighty, hail Vecna.
And he continues to explain that he has brought you these undead to mine for you and to smith these weapons, which every weapon you see is very fresh forged, but very crude and disgusting and just not very proper.
Well, I will tell him right away, we won't have these undead work for us because we will work for ourselves, because my dad always said if you cannot mine for your own ore and make your own weapons, then you shouldn't be wielding them. So,
Dad. I'm sorry, my lord. Dad.
father, that's a colloquial term for father,
I see.
from where I come.
Okay. Yes, hail Garthor. Hail Garthor's dad.
Yes, we will not have undead working for us in this manner anymore. Believe me, we will. We need to figure out a way how to compensate. How do you usually? Do you have a barter system here in your neck of the woods, in your civilization here, or in my realm now? Do we have a barter system?
Barter system.
Do we
Trading items.
trading
No.
items for services?
First come, first serve, according to rank.
Solid
Well,
system.
we'll have now a barter system, and we will start. Okay, one step at a time. Don't worry about it. First, we're not going to have the zombies, okay?
Yes,
And we'll
we've
talk
already
about-
shut down the. We've already shut down the protocol. The protocol. We've shut down the protocol, sir.
he says with a smile blooming on his face, like he's just done a neat trick, like a puppy.
There will be no more zombies. Not down here. Not under Garthor.
Yes. I trust living subjects more than I trust unliving subjects. So.
Ah.
And
Understood.
yeah, and we will figure out a way how we can do a good system of compensating for the work and everything, and we'll do some changes here. But of course, little by little, so everybody can get used to it.
You could always have workers paid by the air standard.
By the air standard.
Yeah, the harder they work, the more air they're allowed to continue breathing.
I
Laura
like
question.
that.
Laura question. During the past couple of days we've been here, Cass would have asked around who was maintaining those zombies, like who made them.
Of course.
just
Most of the
curious.
time, you get kind of shrugs, like, "Ugh," and then they just keep consuming these large pistachio-like seeds that they've been living off down here. And but eventually, you actually find yourself back to Slasher, and you see him. His long ears, long pointed ears, and pale skin, and very human-like features. He's definitely half hobgoblin, half something else. And you see him, and he kind of eyes you, and then immediately looks away, and you can tell he's kind of pretending to be working on something.
Am I currently in this scenario?
Yep, we just jumped to you. So this is a different part of the cave.
Okay. Let's let them finish up first then.
Okay. Well, I mean, you asked me to. Okay, no problem. So, Garthor, after you kind of tour the mines, you take a look at the forge, and he takes you actually through a tunnel, and you begin to notice a progression. You're seeing a progression, almost like a montage. You see hobgoblins kind of standing in line, and then you see hobgoblins in an armory, and you see one getting his armor put on, and then another hobgoblin just beats some metal into it to test it, and knocks him back a little bit, but he likes it. And then they put a weapon into his hand, and it's sharp, and despite its unfavorable quality to a true fighter such as yourself, it is incredibly, it's disconcerting to you that this is nothing less than the breeding of an army.
Out of character, I just imagined the scene in Lord of the Rings where I think the second one where they're like breeding the Urukai and making the weapons and giving them and like
out of character. That's precisely what I was picturing when I described it. So
yeah.
Sort of.
That's one of my favorite scenes, pretty much.
I love it.
Anyway, yeah. I am somewhat disconcerted. And I'm like, so what were you preparing for before I took leadership? I'm curious for that.
He kind of looks at you and says,
Oh, of course. I can't believe I would forget such a... thing.
And you're walking down this tunnel, and you hear mining, what sounds like pickaxes on stone at the end of it, just reverberating through upon the walls of this cavern tunnel. This tunnel looks dug. It does not look natural. It looks completely dug, and it's smaller, but you both can fit in it when you crouch. And he says,
We are breeding our army for this purpose. For this tunnel leads to Outpost Archie.
Okay, Outpost Archie. Yeah. Tell me more about this outpost, and what's the plan with that for now?
If I remember correctly, it's Outpost of the Empire.
Yeah, I do know that because I also found a paper, but I want to hear what he has to say about it.
he says,
Daraki savages. They've stolen our children.
and it doesn't occur to you now that you actually haven't seen any hobgoblin kids here.
They've
Yeah,
stolen them.
I wanted to ask where your children's are, unless
You say eat them.
He growls and says,
They have done nothing but ravaged our lands. We used to live above, in the forest itself, until they came. And then the forest turned to evil. We had to come underground and gnaw on seeds. It is not very honorable.
Yeah.
You'll have to excuse my anger at the Darakus
I
infiltrators.
don't have much love for the Darakus Empire.
They should all die. All of them.
Yeah, we'll decide that eventually. We need to first find out exactly what's the deal with that. I have some information about this camp. I need to find out first what's the deal with the camp. Also, there was this evil in the woods, if that's connected to the Darakus Empire or not.
Sure. You notice that his face looks shocked, like wait, what kind of thing, when you say, well, we'll decide that when we get there. We'll decide. Apparently, it's occurring to you that they've all been ready to attack and destroy Outpost Archie for a long time, and that doubt that they might not, he kind of shakes it off.
I know
I
this
am
is
going to be a
probably
better leader.
as a change to you. What did you say out of character, Solar?
I just mentioned I am going to be a better leader than Garthor because I want to destroy the Rakus.
Does that make you a better leader?
For them, it does probably.
Well,
Do you want to challenge my leadership? Is this the first instance of PvP action?
I don't
No,
think Cassius will be interested. I'm just saying. as a hypothetical thing. But Cassius probably isn't interested in that.
Well, speaking of Cassius, over at kind of the mess hall, where many hobgoblins are fighting each other and taking their breaks from the day to just kind of get out, blow off some steam, because they're all obviously aggressive and building up this need, this energy for war. And you're in there and you see Slasher, who says, "Have you thought about the deal I proposed to you?" And he continues messing with a small trinket in his hands.
Not really, honestly.
Of course.
I like how casual that was.
His of course though is not very casual. It's very difficult for him to hide his frustration. "You must see, my friend, that we need powerful leadership if we are to destroy Dyrachus."
What did you say?
"Well, we're going to destroy Dyrachus. We're going to outpost Arky as soon as possible to obliterate their presence on Moonglade Isle."
How can I help?
"I'll tell you how you can help." And he kind of leans close to whisper in your ear. And he says, "Tonight, during the convening, your friend, what is her name?"
I don't have friends. The what?
"Hell,
I feel betrayed. I feel my heart breaking.
Hellas. The werewolf, the beast.
Okay.
Tonight, when the moon is out, unlock her chains." We're going to go to Mitchell.
Hey, real quick.
Yep.
I am positive that you put us up to level 5.
Yes, I
yes.
just checked. We are level 5.
I
No,
leveled
I
up
put
my
you up
character.
I did put you up to level 5, but I'm sorry, I got confused because I did not do that last session. So I was like, no, I didn't level you up last session. That's where my brain went. So, but you
Okay,
should
my bad.
level-
Okay, that's important for me to know. That's a level of spells that I didn't have otherwise. I'm sorry. I'll stop interrupting.
a level of lycanthropy.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
It's like, oh god.
That's actually how the werewolf sounds. Like a Hyundai motorcycle.
It sounds a little bit like a
yes.
nerdy werewolf, like a nerd wolf.
Another level of power to go onto your werewolf.
You're a
Are you sure it's not?
hyena.
No.
A werenoll, there we go. That's actually not bad.
That's good. That's not bad. Where are you, Yasha area? Drow?
Where?
Nice. Ho, 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 ho.
It's pronounced area drug.
I do not care. Drug. That's what I'm saying. The perfect drug. The perfect drug.
Oh gosh.
Hey, Mitchell,
I
don't be such a drog.
Yeah, dude. Guys, we're drogging this game out a lot. Let's get back to the
Okay.
game.
I would probably have a number of the maps I had drawn meticulously of the area that we have explored, both the underground cavern as well as the map of Enchea, or as you had just described it, actually the Moonglade Isle.
Yes.
And I would be marking over the places where they supposedly had described things, as well as where Salus and her daughter may be, as well as the places I myself have led a search party to. Now and again, I would be checking back actually to a mysterious book I had found while in the lighthouse, and it's called The Illuminated History of Enchea. But the thing is, it was bound and perfectly preserved, but completely blank. And so now and again, I would be taking just a small bit of the page at the top of it and a little drop of ink and putting it onto the tip of the page, either seeing if it has an enchantment on it that keeps it from being having ink placed upon it, or if it is something different.
Silly adventurers. It's a book. And you just spoiled the pages of the book.
That's why it's the very tip,
Yeah.
just the tip.
Just
you
the
could
tip.
bring it to me and I can detect
Oh.
it.
Yeah, you could. You could detect magic.
This is mostly just like a little hobby thing. I'm mostly just poring over these maps and pages, trying to think of a way that where the Doldrin and the two elven women could be hiding.
Exactly.
Well, if worse comes to worse, it's blank pages so that you can draw
I was
the map.
thinking that. I was actually thinking of writing up the history as we learn it and putting it documented into the book if it actually has nothing on it.
Nice. Okay, cool. At least, recording your history. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the book is actually called, there may have been a miscommunication or something, The Intricately Written Histories of Enchea.
Wow.
You know what? Out of character, my wife is pretty cool. Definitely wasn't me. It would look like a freaking second grader making a Thanksgiving turkey out of her hand. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about, right? Where you trace
Not
your
like
hand
not traced, literally out of her hand, like she cut it off.
Yeah.
Very dedicated arts and crafts people.
No, it's a very no, it's like a magic trick. She pulls the turkey out of her hand.
Well, that's even more dedicated. I mean,
Yeah. Okay. All right. So,
actually requires selling your soul to a demon.
She's a sorcerer. This is not a pact magic.
Mm.
But I'll be
The only
poring
difference
over
is
these
what they
different
tell you.
maps.
I know, and Yasha, you have checked everywhere. Okay, you've gone slightly to the surface. The hobgoblins are too terrified to go into the forest. They say that there are creatures larger than houses in the forest. You actually took a few steps in, and I want you to roll nature for me or survival. So that'd be a wisdom check. If you have survival, just add that to it.
Yeah, I'm checking it right now. And I do have survival. I also have nature, but I'm going to use survival.
Cool.
That was a combined total of 17.
Excellent. You see a massive footprint, about 6 feet long and 3.5 feet wide, and it is shaped like a reptilian, three-pronged, three-toes foot. And when you go back, you're out by the lighthouse where you guys went in. It's actually quite beautiful. The shipwrecks. You see some colors on the masts where all the ships were wrecked along the rocky shore, and you see some blues and whites and purples, and in a way it kind of reminds you how lucky you are, or you tell me how Yasha would receive that visual stimulation.
All right, so I see this sunset setting over the sea, and I can't help but think of all the different times I had saved some people, and how it just their faces continue to give me strength to push me forward. The times I had helped people, even the simple things of helping them through the wilderness as a guide. But as my thoughts linger, they fall more darker. They go over towards the civilization I blame myself for not being able to save, for the capture of Cassius and placed upon the slaver ship that we ended up shipwrecking on. And here, my inability to save the elven woman and her child, and then finally the cold-blooded murder of Mabel. And again, I'm just repeating in a mantra to myself. It's for the good.
Excellent. Excellent. You find no trace. They didn't come back out this way. You thought that this was your best bet because this is the way you came in. This is obviously the easiest way for them to go out because they had just walked in this way. They didn't. In walking back, you actually come across the tavern area, Jub's, and there's a child in there, a child hobgoblin that's being held very close to his mother, or what you perceive to be his mother. And in the tavern, there's a man, hobgoblin sweeping up some what looks like some glass or porcelain off the floor, looking sternly at the child, and multiple people punching each other and clawing at each other, and there's some blood on the wall over there, but not much. And there you see Cassius speaking to one of the hobgoblins. A pale one with long, slender, pointed ears, playing with some sort of trinket. He's got a long, kind of curved, bent nose.
All right. I'll walk up kind of to Cassius, keeping an eye on the bar brawl. If it moves over here, I'll probably put a stop to it fairly quickly, and approach Cassius and say, Cassius, there's no sign of the people we have been traveling with, Dogrin or the two elven women. Have you learned anything about the situation that we're in? And who's this?
Not really, but hang on a second. And then I turn to Slasher and I say, what do you mean unchained? What would be the point of that?
I must be going, obviously, to fix my toy here. You know, it's all my small child.
Answer my question first.
No. And he just stands up and begins to walk away.
I grab him by the back of whatever it is that he is wearing his shirt. I'm like, oh no, you don't. I don't like where this is going.
You hear probably
radiating
a dozen. Hold on. Okay. You begin radiating like a heat energy off of you, and it's immediately felt. But you hear dozens of swords become unsheathed, almost simultaneously, but over the course of a couple of seconds. And everything is silent. In this constantly noisy and reverberating cave, everything is silent, and all eyes are on both of you. And the hobgoblin, Slasher, says,
"You're out of your league. Back away before you make a mistake and get your friends killed."
I don't think you understand how many people I can kill.
You hear footsteps approaching. What do you do, Cassius?
Cassius looks to his left, to his right. Then he turns to the table and grabs a beer and walks away.
And then everyone kind of sloops their stance a little bit, breathes out, and then Slasher looks to Yasha, who's still grasping him by a leather jerkin that's seen far too many springs.
And you, elf.
And he kind of says elf in a disgusted way that just drips off of his tongue like a rotten meat stew.
I love that.
Yeah, sure. I think we could talk about a few things, unless you have some business with him.
No, I can get it from you. You might want to watch out with that, though. Unlike most elves, I'm actually okay. The way you're talking about that doesn't affect me. Others would take serious offense, may even not like it, and I start flaring my ki, and it's just this massive spiraling miasma of energy around me. It's like,
Do me a
I'm walking
favor,
away.
and do you use your wisdom for your key, right?
Yes, I do.
Give me a wisdom check.
I need to check. All right. Ooh, that was a 23.
Great. The describe to me what the key looks like as it's orating off of your body.
So, my muscles start to bulge out just slightly before the veins start to become more hyper pronounced as even the ones on my face start to stand out just a little bit as I'm starting to walk away. And then this blue, slight, wispy smoke-looking energy starts to emit from my body before, almost without any words, it just, this massive spiral shoots up to the top of the inn as you can feel wind slightly blowing towards you from the pressure released from the pure energy that I released.
Nice. In
That's
character.
awesome. Very. Oh, that's what Cassius says.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? It kind of glistens. It glistens in a way, and it reflects off of the pale skin that looks milky in a way. And you see the holes and the pimples and the divots and the blackheads on his face and in his nose. And for a moment, he's not fazed by your muscles. But then the key actually visualizes itself. It materializes itself, and he can see it. And you see just a hint of a kind of a twitch in his eye, like fear. And he says, "Try it." And everybody around him is still standing there, swords in hand.
Do I know if Yasha can see in the dark?
You would probably know that. Well, it's up to you. He's an elf, and elves do have the ability. They have dark vision. So, I mean, it is up to you whether or not Cassius would know that.
He wouldn't. Okay.
Okay.
Not even with his intelligence?
Actually,
I saw the character sheet.
consider he might remember just the other day when you guys walked in here. I believe that's something Yasha pointed out. It's up to you, though.
Okay.
Actually, I think I did say that.
Is that a Mickey Mouse mug, Solar?
Yeah.
Show it to the crowd. Hold on, I've got to make your screen the big one.
It's just
And
a mug.
Pluto.
It's a mug.
And Pluto.
Just a mug. I like it. I dig it. Garthor, you're on your way back through the tunnel, and you see some sort of commotion in the center of the cavernous hall.
I'll go towards the motion pretty quickly.
Yasha, what do you do here?
Do I see the... okay. Yep.
I was mostly just going to be starting to walk away having made my point.
Okay.
And
your point
Cassius
was
probably
definitely
has the information that I need, and I'm pretty sure this guy isn't going to give it to me without a fight.
Yeah. You saw the fear in his eyes, so you know you drove home that point. You drove it home. You let him go. You back off. The fist print can still be seen on his leather. It's just crumpled in that certain place, and he just straightens it It's in a way that's very unlike a hobgoblin to care about such a superficial thing that might be his other half side talking for him. He straightens out the jerkin and turns around, and everyone just sheathes their swords, goes back to normal, like nothing happened, like this is totally expected, like this is an everyday thing. And Garthor, you see Yasha and Cassius walking toward you. Yasha looks a little bit flushed, maybe. Describe that, Yasha and Cassius. How would Garthor perceive you?
Your mug is
Solar,
way cooler.
since you're in the front. Oh, okay. So Garthor would see me. My muscles are still twitching, kind of like they're waiting to be used badly, and my veins still pronounced. My breathing elevated, but it's deep and even, but it is increased. Even the way I'm moving, it's significantly more fluid, more bouncy, like I'm getting ready to spring off, like I'm loaded. And the blue energy.
Out of character, this reminds me of like Dragon Ball Z or something. And it's like, you know, when you describe when he's like his chi is coming out and his muscles are popping. I was just expecting like Vegeta to pop up and he says, Kakarot! Oh, sorry, wrong place.
This is what I love about Mitchell is he never fails to tell us how badass his character is. Like, how does the sunset make your character feel, Mitchell? Well, I think about all the people I saved. And all their faces. You know, I've saved a lot of people. That's really fucking awesome. My muscles just rip. There are muscles in my arms that aren't anatomically, physically possible.
I would like to see Mitchell play in a straight-up superhero game, like just
totally.
Since DBZ is the obvious one, I'm kind of just imagining him as the situation from Jersey Shore. Come on, bro. Do you even lift?
Do you even lift, bro?
I like the. There are muscles in my eyes.
1v1 me IRL.
And he's just lifting it up just to show six-pack, like, what?
You what, mate?
You want to see my key?
Now I imagined the entire Dragon Ball Z character lines, but as Jersey Shore, what is it? Not gigolos, how you said it? Guidos? Anyway, yeah, I asked them, I just look at them a little bit sternly and like, so what has happened? Any problems here?
I'd try to get close to Garthor to try not be overheard and whisper to him, they're hiding something big, like huge. I think Cassius may know.
I look at my assistant Slasher, right?
No, that would be
Ripper, yeah, I like
Ripper, Slasher, Reaver. There's one named Thomas, I'm sure. Thomas the Hobgoblin.
There's one.
There's
a lot of them that
Hobgoblin.
he's just not hardcore enough to run with the big guys, so they just call him Injured.
No, yeah, no.
I'm imagining like a cartoon intro. It's Thomas the Hobgoblin.
No, it's short for Tommy Gun. Well, thanks.
There's got to be one named Stumpy.
Anyway, so I look at Ripper and I'm like, we will talk later. I gotta convene with my associates, but it has been very enlightening, Ripper, and we will talk again and talk about plans for the future. Okay?
He says,
Of course, my lord. Hail Garthor. But first, shall we allow your companion, the one chained in the, how do you call it, medical?
Yes.
Shall she come? Shall she come to the meeting, my lord?
I've talked to her, and she thinks it's also at first the best decision to stay in the room for now, chained. Okay. So, for everybody's, well-being, we will figure out a way to heal her condition. But for now, for the meeting, she's not going to be attending.
Of course. Hail Garthor.
Thank you.
So.
And I take Cassius and I don't know, whatever.
No, I love it, Sean. It's not bad. It's awesome. I just picture you being like, yeah, totally out of your element, just like, yep, pat him on the side and just walk away.
Yeah, it was
totally
pretty cool.
Perplexing, these hobgoblins. I love it.
But my character, he's just basically from a mining village, and he can swing a sword a little bit, but he's not used to being a leader. You know, he's not some royal guy or some like Mulgar Blackthorn would be totally up in this thing, you know. But this is not Mulgar Blackthorn. This is Garthor, so he's like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Completely down with ruling some hobgoblins.
Or completely down with ruling anything, anybody, you know. So if he would be the guy like in the Twilight Zone who finds the micro civilization, and well, maybe he wouldn't get that crazy, but he would be totally up for like being their god, you know.
As I say, he wants to be the main character of the microscopic god.
Yep. So,
I can get behind this.
You
That
make
was
your
a-
way.
It's a good book.
I haven't seen that one. I read that one, but I want to. If it's anything like that Twilight Zone episode, then I'm interested. No.
Okay,
You
so
make
I
your way
take-
to.
I
ahead.
take sorry, I'm a little bit
Cassius and
distracted by the cat. I take Cassius and I take.
Wait, what cat? Do you hear the cat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Son of a bitch, cat!
Cat.
She's on the other side of the door.
She wants to come in.
Show us the Eye of Mordor.
Alright, hold on 1 second.
It's furless cat
No
time.
use. As long as the door is closed, it will be on the wrong side of it.
Aww.
We're about to get a glimpse of the Eye of Mordor.
In its way, it's cute.
no, it's not.
It's an abomination of nature.
It's a life form.
wants to destroy
It's got right to live.
Eye of Mordor! Eye of Mordor!
I am not showing you my cat's butthole.
Okay.
That's what
Thanks.
Mitchell wants.
I love Fox is just like, thanks.
Okay.
God.
Appreciate it.
Just, you know, it being the holiday season and all. It is the time to be generous.
Anyway, so I take Cassius and sorry, Mitchell. I have written down your character's name, but
Yasha.
wait, Yasha. There we go, Yasha.
It's only the 7th session.
Actually, the eighth session, I wrote it wrong. I wrote it
7
wrong.
part 2. 7
I
part
have
2.
written down all the names here, so I said Yasha, so I take Yasha and Cassius to Helen, where we all meet up, and because I want to talk, privately, without disturbance about the next plan. So, and so we do we get there without interruptions, Barker?
Yeah, it's actually you're right by it.
Okay, so we go in. I close the door, and I say, okay. I found some things out. They're preparing a massive assault on the Durakus outskirt, not outskirt.
This is
fort.
in my cell, right? Or near it? Okay.
Yeah. I just say they're preparing a massive attack on the Durakus fort, the outpost.
Outpost Archie.
Archie, yes, I have it written down too. That's why I write down everything because I always forget everything.
No, it's okay,
So,
and I can remind you of what your character would know.
That's really nice of you because I know DMs, including me, that are not that nice usually.
So I kind of want to, something occurred to me earlier. Barker often says he likes to GM whilst standing up. So it just been, and it finally, I put 2 and 2 together that this is a habit that means that he just looms over the table of everybody else.
What I
I'm
do
just like,
is-
wait a minute, this guy is outstandingly tall, so he just looms over the table.
What I do is I actually stay seated, and I don't talk, and when I have something to say, I stand up. So it's very like Gandalf in Bag End, like the shadows just spread along the wall. Don't take me for
Good Cracker Barrel, it's not very good. Let's go to Steak and Shake instead. Let's go to Denny's, but not that Denny's, the one across town, it's better.
That's Family Guy. I know the Family Guy reference. Ha! Yep. That's twice I've got you today, son.
Yep.
Okay, Cat.
Good episode.
Oh, you see, it's real. This is what she does.
This is what cats are evil. You've been warned.
Get out of here.
Anyway, so I say that.
First of all, I'm really sorry about the meowing, by the way, to all the viewers and to you guys. I heard her, and I didn't realize the mic was picking it up, so I apologize.
It messed with your Seahawks poster.
I knew she was a 49er fan.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, it should be number 12 for the
It's a
Seahawks.
flag. It's the 12th man flag.
Oh.
I keep looking at it and wondering if it has something to do with the Colts, because that style of lettering in blue.
Well, it is. Yeah, it's Andrew Luxon. Is that Andrew Luxon? I don't know. Who cares? But what I'll tell you, it might not have anything to do with the Colts, the Indianapolis Colts. It might have nothing to do with the Colts, but it's going to have everything to do with the dislikes we get on this video. So, let us continue.
I say that they're preparing a massive assault against Outpost RT. And since I'm not a big fan of the Raucous, I am kind of thinking of possibly going through with it. Because they really want to do something. They have a lot of energy, a lot of stuff going on. On the other hand...
but that's not a good idea.
I'm not saying to do it, okay? But they say something...
If we were to take down the Raucous outpost, theoretically, we would need significantly more forces than ourselves.
Before I would ever even consider attacking, I would first check out... I would want to send out a spy, and I'm looking at Yasha. I'm thinking about you, since you have been already...
speaks up at this point, and it's pretty... But personally, Cassius seems pretty calm. He's just sipping on beer, but with his other hand, you see his fist is clenched tightly, and it's actually smoking. And as he speaks up, he says, "We have bigger concerns, as much as I hate to say it. They're planning something. We need to torture that pale guy."
Okay, wait. We're not torturing anybody, okay? They might be hobgoblins, but they're still sentient beings.
They want to kill you.
And I flinch at that.
I'm actually I have been noticing and I have been expecting, since the way, as far as I've noticed with Hobgoblin Society, it's very much the strongest rules, and I didn't expect that my rulership would be
Untested.
easily, untested by no one. I will deal with it as it comes. I'm not gonna torture anyone. Okay, this is not something I believe in.
Unchain Helen tonight.
Well, then we'll just have to put a guard here. I might just be the guard myself, and we will find a solution for Helen's affliction. And as long as there's no moonlight, as far as we have understood, as long as there's no moonlight touching upon Helen,
that guy's going to be a problem.
Everybody roll a nature check. Or a history check. Or you can choose nature, you can choose history, you can choose...
20.
Nature.
And write your total in the chat, and also next to your total write which you roll, because that will change the type of information you get. You can roll a religion check if you'd like.
Okay, wait. Religion. I don't have any. So nature or religion? Are those the choices?
History, nature, religion.
Okay, it doesn't matter for me because I've got all +0, so I'm just gonna roll.
Intelligence. Roll intelligence then.
Yeah, I got a 6, so.
Fox, what was the 8 for?
Sorry.
For a sad face, obviously.
Okay, so Cassius, you remember in your studies poring over books of history. Were you forced to read them? Did you like history? Why would you be poring over books with some sort of historical significance?
It was a chore. It was one of my duties if I were ever to become a proper wizard.
Excellent. So you had to kind of pore through these old tomes. Did you like it? Did you hate it?
Depending on the stories, really. There were a lot of descriptive things for spells, like exactly how they looked and how much destruction they caused and that kind of stuff. He liked them, but most of the stuff that's like dates and wars and that kind of stuff, it was just boring.
Excellent. You remember two hobgoblin tribes in the previous epic, previous epoch of time. One was called the Plague, and the other was called the Resurrection. And you remember that they were allied together. And the reason they were allied together is because a single dark lord, a single dark wizard, had brought them together under one banner. And he was killed. Not by anybody in the tribe, he was just killed by an outsider. And because he died, the schism occurred between those two tribes, and they went into a large-scale conflict. The ruins left in its wake are still littering the countryside today. Yasha, you know that hobgoblins never work together. Clans very rarely work together. There's got to be something to keep them somehow united.
Barker, would I know what an Oberjarl would be in your world?
You tell me what that is in your world, and I'll tell you if
in our world, an Oberjarl was basically this high commander of Vikings. The Jarl was typically the local commander, the king, while the Oberjarl is the high king.
Okay. Okay, so what was your question?
If I would know if there existed something like that in your world.
Sure, you tell me.
Actually, no, I don't think I would.
Okay.
Yeah, show that poster. What for?
No, it's a flag, by the way. I had to say
sorry.
it.
Yeah, show that flag. What
But
for?
actually, I'm sorry about the meowing. It's just going to have to be dealt with because if I let her in, she's going to dick around with the sugar glider. That's not good. And my wife is asleep. So I hope it's not that annoying. If it's that annoying, then I'll figure something out. 2-minute break. Be right back.
Don't fall asleep.
Damn it, I don't think he heard you.
Too late.
Let's hope he doesn't blink really hard.
I'm actually gonna go AFK.
Okay. I don't know. If I think Jarl, of course, of course, is the king of Vikingdom. But basically, again, I'm thinking Skyrim because I've been playing a lot of Skyrim. But Skyrim is basically pseudo.
Yeah, it is.
Land, so I mean, it's like every. But
yeah, but there's an Oberjarl mentioned in Skyrim that that guy is made from. There's an Oberjarl mentioned in a book series I read called The Ranger's Apprentice, and it's mentioned a couple of times, I guess, in some Viking lore. But that's just it, lore. I don't exactly have anybody on calls like, hey, yeah, you're a Viking dude. Is there such a thing called an Oberjarl?
Do me a favor. Actually, no,
I would check always the source material always, like what did the Viking, like check out historical references to Vikings. It's quite interesting. It's quite interesting that actual Viking helmets didn't have horns, for example.
Yes. Yeah, Yasha, your character. No, it's okay. Yasha knows that there's a land in between two mountain chains that is almost entirely tundra called Sur Saline. And in this land of Sur Saline, it's kind of a land of dwarves, and they're what are called the Great Dwarven Khans. And they're very similar, I think, to the Jarls in that they, at one point, were just the lordship over their own little towns or villages, and you'd have the Grand Khan over all of them. If you want to make a history check, I'll tell you more. Otherwise, it's all good.
No, that's good enough for me.
Okay, cool. Fox, why is it that you would not know something about religion? Are you tired? Are you weary? Are you feeling sick?
Probably has a hankering for a rare steak.
Do what?
a hankering for a rare steak.
Not yet.
Oh. I don't know.
Okay. You actually feel a little bit distracted because you're feeling kind of nauseous. And during this discussion, you actually throw up to your side. And what comes out is a very strange, flexible, mucusy material, almost like one would imagine a stomach lining would look. Just something extremely painful and extremely disgusting. In fact, you choke on it for a while before you actually have to reach up and grab it and pull it out. Take a shot, everybody.
Oh, God.
Sorry, Sean.
Fine.
Do I have water handy?
There should be water there. If not, I can get the
If not,
servant to
I'll
get some.
Can someone please get me water?
I go to the. I look around to. I open the door and look outside, and I'm like I'm calling servant.
Like 19 hobgoblins come running toward you. I was like,
Yes, master. Yes, master. Yes, master.
Bring
Yes,
me
master.
water. Bring me water. One of you bring me water immediately.
and they begin kind of fighting each other over who gets to bring you the water, and it kind of devolves into a fist fight, but eventually you end up with a half mug of water in your hand. It would have been full, but it was totally spilled out by just combat. And they're still duking it out outside.
Okay, I was like, okay, thank you very much, and I just now be off to your work again, whatever you did before.
It's almost like they all stop immediately, and in perfect unison, Hail Garthor, and they all leave.
And
I was
then-
about to suggest you train them to do that.
well, not really, but it's kind of fun ordering them around, so I won't lie. But
You
I
do a jolly dance for me. A jolly hobgoblin dance.
I got my money on the skinny one. He seems more desperate.
oh man, why aren't there like leprechauns instead of hobgoblins? That would be just hilarious. But it would devolve into shitty Irish accents. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, yes, my lord. Hail Garthor.
Hail Garthor.
Faith and Begorra. Let me get that water for you there.
There we go. That's why I know. Anyway, I bring
Hopefully no Irish person watches that, because that was probably terrible.
It wasn't as
Dislike.
bad as you think it was, I think.
Thanks,
As an American who
what
lives,
dislike this video will have is because of you.
as an American who lives in New Mexico, that's a pretty good Irish accent.
I liked it too. Anyway, I bring you the mug, the half mug, and I'm like, here.
I don't think it was a real Irish accent, and I didn't say feckin' nearly enough.
There we go.
But I was trying to do it real, just be like, Hail Garthor, I'll get the feckin' thing to you.
Jon Snow. Sorry.
You don't know anything, Jon Snow.
Jon Snow.
Apparently, the only thing he knows is swordplay and cunnilingus, right?
That's enough.
Anyway, I'm bringing you the mug.
I will take
This
it.
is not
and,
Game of Thrones. This is Footprints of Enchea.
Yeah. I'll be drinking the water.
Stupid accents can come out when we play Ice and Fire, or whatever.
Song of Ice and Fire.
Song of Ice. Okay, thanks. But
Definitely
that,
Rift.
who knows? Rift is anything goes, so
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, I bring you the water, and I'm like, here. Sorry it wasn't more, but they're acting quite weirdly. But then again, anyway, here you go.
I'd take it and drink it.
I'm just looking like
Fox capacitor?
I don't know. I don't know how we could help you. Like this doesn't look quite right.
Like, no, I think something is pretty badly wrong with me.
Yeah. I have no knowledge of these kind of afflictions, but
Give him some time, I can figure it out. It's like, but
I have no love for the Arrakis Empire, but since this island is so with no civilization in a sense, the reason why I wouldn't want to, one of the other reasons I wouldn't want to attack the outpost is because there might be somebody there who could help us. But then again, I have been a slave on that ship, so I'm not quite sure there what to do.
We should let them all kill each other.
I don't see necessarily the sense in that, even though I have no love for the Arrakis Empire. And as Yasha said, there's no guarantee. Sorry, Helen, you were saying something.
It's like, I'm sure their preparations will take longer than the phase of the moon. Just like if I can control myself, then I should go speak with them.
Okay. You want to speak with the people in the outpost?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll have to make precautions. I want to at least Yasha to. We could go there together. We gotta have a contingency plan if, for some reason, you start, lose control of yourself. We gotta have a contingency plan then. So I'm thinking we would bring some chains, and just in case. I don't want to hurt Helen. I wanna at most, if we can, just as a worst case scenario.
Like,
I don't know how these things work.
It's like there's no reason to discuss
do it in the day though, so I'd have to scout out where the outpost is located first, so we don't waste any time finding it.
I can block off the moonlight for a while if necessary.
It's like it's not something that needs to be really discussed. Just whatever is necessary to stop me from hurting people. Like if it comes to that, just do what has to be done.
Okay, I mean, I don't like to. Honestly, I don't like to think about that, but if the worst comes to worst, then yes, because I know you wouldn't want that, being a spiritual person and everything. But it wouldn't be really your fault. But still, I want to have at least an option to stop you without stopping you, if you know what I mean. So I'm gonna have to get some chains, and we will chain you and wait till it passes. But hopefully it won't come to that either. So anyway, we should go scout out the area. I'm gonna bring a small squad of hobgoblins, but maybe I shouldn't.
Not a good idea. They aren't very healthy.
Before we leave anywhere, we need to deal with the Pale Goblin. He's very dangerous.
What do you mean with deal with him?
I don't care what you choose to do otherwise, but that one... We need to do something to remove him from power, or kill him, or something.
If we kill him, wouldn't that, raise suspicion? I mean, he does have followers that might
You're the commander.
create, and
Your word is law.
Yeah, but
I already told you he plans to kill you. You can kill him on the basis of just that.
I will. I'm thinking of jailing him. I don't like killing somebody who's unarmed, even if they're plotting against me.
It's like a simple show of non-lethal force. It'd probably stave things off. If you take too drastic an action, those loyal to him may rise against you.
That's what I'm
as bad as
the same way.
And we gotta find who's loyal to him.
What I'm thinking is, if we put him into jail, then that means, he's still alive. So his followers, I hope they wouldn't do any action then. Because right now we need this advantage of the hobgoblins listening to me. So I would say arresting him or whatever. I know
Like-
they don't have sophisticated laws like humans do, or elves, or even orcs for the matter. I'm sure
At
even
first.
orcs.
Like, if I can speak to those at Arky, like, I may be able to broker a diplomatic solution. Just like
Okay.
they may be inclined to listen to me.
You think they won't enslave us all or just kill us outright?
Well, we do have the option. I do have an army of hobgoblins. We could look. What we could do. We could do this. If they do enslave us before we go, and I know that's a bit risky, but actually it's very risky. But if I tell to the hobgoblins to, if we don't return in a specific amount of time, then attack the outpost, because that means we have been captured.
Like, have you found out what kind of, is this a military outpost? Is it a colony? Are there innocent people there?
That's my concern. But the hobgoblins have been saying that the outpost is responsible for robbing their children. And as far as I've seen, I haven't seen any children yet.
What do you mean by robbing their children?
Taking their children from them for some purpose. I'm guessing to, I don't know.
That's very strange.
It is very strange, and I'm not sure if the outpost is to blame. I'm thinking somebody's using that for their own purposes to attack the outpost. Because as much as I have hatred for the Drakus Empire, I don't know if they would do that. So,
I have an idea, says Cassius as he holds his hand as high above as he can. And he turns to Garthor with his eyes like completely wide and like he has a renewed, like he's reinvigorated, you know, like super hyped. I can't describe it better, sorry.
Super hyped,
What if-
man. He's cool. He's red. He's pumped. We're psyched.
what if-
Cassius. Sorry. I got.
What if
Cassius
tonight-
got soul.
We make it look like Helen was set free and left this place. The Pale One would think I set her free, and he'll reveal his plans, and he'll reveal the forces behind him and everyone who backs him.
I'm gonna look around. Are there any hobgoblins nearby?
I have closed the door, and I told all the hobgoblins to leave the area.
Then you're alone in this room. It's not a door. It's a curtain.
Well, I am always looking out to make sure that we are alone.
Yep. You don't see anybody.
I was gonna, like, if you're to plan anything, speak quietly and be very careful who you tell. It's like this pale goblin is clearly a politician. He'll have spies.
Cassius looks around. There's no one here. Look, if we smuggle you out tonight to go on this diplomatic whatever, I can figure out what this guy's planning. And kill him, possibly.
I don't like the idea, but it would solve a problem. On the other hand, if you kill them and they revolt, they might open a whole new problem, and I might lose the power over the hobgoblins.
Well, we'll talk about killing him later.
I'm not a big fan of that idea, but I mean, if it's necessary, if he outright attacks me, yes, I will fight him. I'm not really a politician. I don't really know a lot about politics, so I don't, or intrigue or whatever. I don't really care for all of that.
My lord, everybody's waiting. You look back and you see Esper is standing there in his usual dark cloak, hood up.
I said I wasn't supposed to be disturbed. I'm gonna come when I come.
Can I make an insight check
On what? What do you want to try to figure out?
on Asper to see if he heard anything? To see if his reaction is such that I can tell.
What I would say is you would want to ask him if he heard anything, because insight doesn't allow you necessarily to read, I don't know, a bad example, but read minds. But if someone says something, you can say, hey, I want to take what he just said and try to figure out if he means what he just said.
Okay.
If
I'm
you
gonna
want
say,
to ask,
yeah, I'm gonna say, how long have you been standing there?
I've only just arrived.
Anyway, okay.
Now you can make your insight check if you want.
We will discuss. We will talk later. Anyway, we should go now. For now.
That was a good roll, by the way. Solo 20 insight. Everybody take a shot. That was a good roll.
The only thing I have to take a shot of is vermouth, so I'm gonna pass.
You know what? I pulled a bottle out of that. I pulled a bottle of vermouth out of the bar today, and I looked at it, and I immediately thought of you, Fox, because the story of fuck vermouth. No, I looked at it, and I set it down, and I think it's still sitting out there on the counter. I'm not going to drink vermouth.
Yeah. If I had whiskey to go with it, that would be one thing. But
What's vermouth again?
Martini.
It's familiar.
It's a wine. I use it for mixing Manhattans and literally nothing else because on its own it's garbage.
Martinis are pretty good.
Oh, it's such a bad
I
wine. Wow, I hate bad wine. That's the worst hangover ever.
That would be if I had dry vermouth. I have sweet vermouth.
Martini.
Anyway. Well, it's for Manhattans. Martinis made with sweet vermouth are awful.
Yeah, totally. You can tell he's a bit shaky, Cassius. You're almost certain that he's been out there more than a moment, at the very least. He's just you can see the trembling lip and the fear in his eyes.
Hang on a second. I come closer to Garthor and I try to whisper to him. I think he heard us.
I will ask him straight up. You will tell me now the truth, of what you heard.
He looks to you and he collects himself. You can trust me, my lord. I promise. I told you I would go out and I would find your friends for you. I am a friend. I did hear everything. But just because curiosity sometimes gets the best of me, but you can trust me. I will not tell anybody.
You know the story, curiosity killed the cat.
Yes, but it was always Direwolf where I came from.
Well, it killed something. That's the point. The point is that you better not tell anyone about this because.
I actually have a question for you.
Roll intimidate, Garthor.
Okay.
I would like to do so as well, but in a different direction. I'm gonna tell him.
I have a +4, so.
If anything ever
20.
happens,
I rolled a crit roll.
if anything happens to any of us, know that I will survive and I will come for you.
He looks terrified.
No, I tell him like, you don't want to be the cat, my friend.
He stumbles down, not falls down, not collapses down. He stumbles down onto one knee and onto another, and he just looks at you and says, "You can trust me, my lord."
I'm just imagining this guy getting like intimidated up here from Garthor and down here from Cassius. There's just nowhere for the poor guy to go.
Yeah.
One's got the throat, the other's got the nuts.
Cassius just pops up like, "Watch your nuts."
Anyway, so I'm saying.
Reminds me of the worst. I'm sorry.
I will give you this chance for loyalty, and I want this tribe to flourish, but there is enemies inside. So, if you can bring me information, at the very least, what I want to ask you is to keep this what you've heard a secret.
Of course, my lord. And for start, the first bit of honest information I will give you is this. There's rumors spreading that we are not going to attack Darakas. And many of the hobgoblins are not taken by that idea, and so they're growing restless in the main hall. I feel like I've never seen them like this before, and it might be good for you to go and just maintain the order of things.
And I will do that right now.
I have a question for you,
And
Esper.
thank you very much. I never said we won't attack Darakas. For the time being, I want to know all my options before I attack anybody. And there might be a different enemy for what we will need our strength for.
Of course, my lord, and hail Garthor. But you must understand, and forgive me for speaking out of line, that these hobgoblins, they've had their minds set on this goal for so long that it's all they want in the world.
Esper's.
And, say again?
Sorry, Esper is the priest of whatnot.
Wait. I have
Vecna?
it written down. Yeah, Esper is a priest of Vecna.
And the former leader.
Yeah, former leader.
I do have a question for Esper.
Okay.
I asked him
Standing there.
what he can tell us about Slasher.
Slasher. Slasher. He's one of the ones in the main hall, I think. They all look very similar. The Pale Tribe, the Moon Shadow clan. They're all in there, and they look tremendously vicious. I would say they're the ones causing all the problems.
And we will deal with them right away. I think we shouldn't dilly-daddle anymore. Thank you very much, Esper,
Hey,
for your help.
Garthor?
And
Maybe
your
we should lie to them.
loyalty.
Hmm?
Well, let me deal with it how I think. You know, Garthor, out of character. Garthor is not a schemer, really. You know, he's not.
Of course.
You know, I'm kind of regretting not having Molgal Blackthorn here because that would be his thing. The scheming, you know, that would be totally his element. But he would probably clash with some of the other characters. So it's actually better that we have Garthor here.
I would like.
Character also, this is the first chance Cass has for some legit power in the world, and he's kind of obsessed with trying to abuse it and, you know, to its fullest extent.
Well,
Anyway, so I will say, okay, let's go, Helen. We talked about this. We'll be back soon, okay?
It's like my counsel is to tell them that the rumors are untrue, that the plans are still going forward, but
Yes.
that you're gathering more intelligence for a more decisive victory, so it may take longer.
Yep, that sounds about right.
That's what I said.
Oh, is it? I'm sorry.
No, that was in character, by the way.
Oh,
Well, both of
No.
you had good counsel. We need to be going now.
I'm sorry, Cassius.
Before we go, I would like to ask Helen to examine the book that I've been testing out because it would have just occurred to me that I can trust her ability to detect magic, while Cassius, while he's more focused on the destructive magics, while Helen is more subtle.
we cannot delay Lord Garthor. He leaves the
Okay,
book.
okay, we're going. Okay, Yasha, we gotta go now. There's a situation going on, so we gotta deal with the situation. And he's not laughing.
You want to deal with the situation?
I'll show you.
Just go in the meeting hall like, do you hobgoblins even lift?
Do you even hobgoblin, bro?
Just walk in.
What
Want me
was
to come with you or guard Helen?
it?
I don't trust the goblins.
Well, let's stay then here, Cassius. Me and Yasha will be going. But we have to go now, so talk to you later. And I'm gonna
You
go
want my
with.
help? Scream real loud.
Yeah, well, I will call for you if that's the case, but we should be fine. So, I gotta go now. I look at Esper. Let's go.
Okay.
And I'm heading out.
He leads you to the great hall in this cavern, and it's interesting. I mean, picture Great Hall from Game of Thrones, or
Right, right.
any sort of hall with a throne at the end. But it's very cavernous. So, tell me what you would see inside a cavernous Great Hall.
Okay, since this is hobgoblins, there's a bunch of like the hall is not like worked to the T. This is no dwarven hall. This is not meticulously worked out. Okay, so this is like, it's still very much a cavern, but there's like trophies everywhere of different skulls and stuff. Like, and there's different engraved like primitive drawings that they have on the side of great hunters and fighting great beasts of their past. And it's kind of like, in a very crude manner, their history, but very crudely drawn. It's like not, they don't have a lot of patience to put in a lot of detail and stuff, and only very revered hobgoblins ever get that. So, and some of them you can see have been overpainted and stuff, and there's even some old blood spots or some fresh ones and stuff, and you have hobgoblins sitting everywhere and just like being really anxious and aggressive and just talking in their guttural language, and they're just going like and they're like and they're sitting everywhere, and some of them are in little nooks and crannies, and you got all hobgoblins of all sizes and stuff, and in the middle of that you have the pale guys, the pale clan with a Ripper in the middle, and he's just talking his propaganda left and right, spreading it and everything.
Excellent. And all three of the tribes are separate. It's almost like a what am I thinking? What's that board game with the pie wedges? Trivial Pursuit, like three Trivial Pursuit wedges. I'm picturing you have Ripper's clan, which is all crimson hobgoblins, and he's standing there, actually standing to the right of the throne, and they're actually seeming relatively calm. The more extremely volatile are obviously this massive, just a flowing group of. There's just a big group of pale hobgoblins of the Moonshadow clan. Remember, Ripper is part of the Ripper clan or the Reaver clan?
Yeah.
And in the center are more yellowed, bronze yellow hobgoblins. Obviously different tribes, obviously different lineages, all three of them. And the second you walk in, it's just silence. I mean, from a storming sea of voices and guttural linguistics to just silence.
And I just, what I do now is I go towards the throne, which is like the throne has been made out of like bones and like some leftovers and everything that they found, and it's just kind of a hodgepodge of things, but it has been made pretty sturdy, and it's been there for quite some time, and it's a very like
of the throne, if it's okay.
Yeah, okay, go ahead, Mitchell.
Well, before you get to the throne.
Well, sorry, Barker is the DM. Sorry.
Well, that's fine, but before you get to the throne, while you're walking in, actually, yeah, Mitchell, go ahead and tell me what the throne looks like.
So the furniture in the tables and stuff of this great hall is made of an amalgamation, a savage mixture of bone and wood that has been fastened together to make it look savage, to make it look strong, to make it look powerful, to showcase hobgoblin strength. The throne is like the epicenter of what this could be. It's the strongest bone, most jagged, most horrible looking. It looks like it presents a feeling of strength. It's got some large rib bones sticking out of the back, teeth lining the sides of the chair. It's very little in the way of wood. It's mostly just some ivory bone that has been shaved and has certain parts carved into it that have probably no meaning to us.
Excellent. And on your way walking toward it, as you're walking through this kind of crowd.
I also want to say that I pull out my sword and I put it on my shoulder.
Okay.
And then I'm walking through, like, very confident, like,
Awesome, like spreading the peacock feathers, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Showing people
I'm,
who the
I'm,
boss is.
I'm peacocking. You know.
You're peacocking, peacocking.
Garza and I put on a show.
The murals that you described on the wall, these kind of crude carvings of their history, it begins at the doorway and actually ends at the throne. So as you walk past, it's like a journey through time, through a story. And it tells you a story of hobgoblins at war, fighting, strife, until two individuals came. And then the hobgoblins, it shows a picture of them on their knees as they're praising these two individuals. And then, as you continue walking and continue viewing this mural, you see that that the two individuals fight each other while the hobgoblins are standing watching, and one of the individuals, wounded, runs away, flees, and then the hobgoblins bow to the one individual, and then you are at the throne.
Okay, and then what I do is like I take the sword and I just kind of like ram it into the ground, and then I just say and I do this and I'm like, what is going? And I just roar really loud here. What is all this commotion? What is going on?
Your voice reverberates through the cave many times over to the point where it's almost a solid minute before there's no sound again. And Ripper, smiling, steps forward and says,
My lord, shall we proceed with the discussions?
Discussions of what exactly, Ripper?
You know of what?
And you see a pale hobgoblin just stand up and say, and kind of scream,
We've heard the rumors. We're not attacking Durakis!
and everybody just in an uproar just starts arguing and fighting.
And I'm like, and what I do is like, I wish I had some kind of stone or like hammer to like silence, but I'm like,
could just motion for me.
Wait.
You do. What is it? Is it a skull? What does it look like?
Oh yeah, okay. It's a there's the throne has a next to the other thing to the throne. The symbol is it's a stick, and it's almost more like a war club, and it has like a big like a creature skull on there, it looks like some kind of lizardy skull. And underneath, it's a very sturdy build, actually. It's probably, they didn't build it themselves, they just kind of modified it. And underneath there's like a big, like a pummel on the end. And it's like kind of a staff, kind of maul kind of thing. Like a war maul, like warhammer or something. But they're using it as a staff, a symbol of power. And I just take that one, and I just start banging it on the floor, and I'm saying, silence! Right now! What kind of warriors are you, squabbling like women and like feeble, like are you kobolds or are you hobgoblins? You listen to me. Whatever rumors have been spreading, they've been spreading. They aren't true. We will attack the Durakis camp. But we're gonna do it my way. We're gonna first find out who the real enemy is here, and what their strength is. We're not gonna charge in blindly. Because we're gonna win this fight, and we're gonna slay our enemies. That is all I have to say about that.
It takes a little longer for the silence to come over the crowd this time. But when it does, you see some nods from both sides, the Crimson Hobgoblins, the Ripper clan, and the Hobgoblins in the center, which are just called the Savagery. And they kind of smile and nod. The pale group, okay, the Moon Shadows, they do not seem so amused. They seem a little more intelligent than the others. They seem a little more skeptical than the others, and they look to their leader in front, a person who actually looks like Slasher, but it occurs to you that Slasher is not there at the moment. and there are a few hobgoblins that are not there, but the vast majority is. Slasher's just not there at the time. And he and Esper's kind of in the back watching, and then he kind of, you see him back up and kind of walk away out of the hall, and you hear them say,
We've been waiting so long. Give us proof that you are not Durakis. Ah, he's Durakis! He's Durakis!
I start going up towards him, and I just what I do, I take the scepter, right?
mm-hmm.
And I just smash him in the head with it.
Describe to me how that looks.
Okay, what I do is like I just go up and I take the scepter. I know better yet. No, I have a better idea. I go up to him and I just backhand him, and he just gets hit and like blood comes out and stuff. He's not that strong of a hobgoblin and stuff. And you say one more word and your head will be rolling. And I take out my sword. And well, I have it already here, and I just point it to his neck. How dare you accuse me of being a Durakis pig? They have enslaved me. They have enslaved my village when their empire attacked my nation.
His
Sorry,
blood.
Fox's face is great. It's just like.
Killing.
Okay, guys, I'll sit this out until I can use my awesome lycanthrope priest.
Yeah, I know. I do feel bad about this, but you guys left him in there. You guys left him chained.
Right.
I'm sitting here wondering if anybody in the party is at any point going to remember that Helen is Durakis.
I do, and I'm like, oh, she's like the only one that wasn't enslaved by that empire in some point or directly opposed.
It's a long silence as the blood across this hobgoblin's face just drips slowly to the floor, and you kind of hear a stomping, and then more stomping in unison. More stomping in unison.
Hail, 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 hail. Oste en Enchea.
Hail! Oste en Enchea. Hail! And then everybody except for the Moonshadow clan is basically doing this, and they're looking, and many of them actually kind of start slowly but surely. Cassius, you hear this chanting coming from across the cavern. You recognize it explicitly, to the T. And as you're fiddling around, standing near Helen, the small talk is over, messing around in the pocket of your cloak, you discover a small key that had been slipped inside of your cloak.
Is this me you're talking to?
It's Cassius.
Sorry.
Where do I recognize the chanting from? My dream?
Yes.
I
It's
wasn't
the
sure.
exact same chanting. And you, yeah.
I wish I was there.
You do, actually. Cassius does wish he was there, in a manner of speaking.
I kind of find this key and I feel it around in my pocket and I pull it out and I look at it like I don't know what this is. Can I examine if it's special in any way, or is it just a key?
It's just an iron key.
It's not like purple or anything?
Nope.
Okay. I put it back in my pocket.
Helen, you recognize the chant, and you actually, what languages do you speak?
Let me check something real quick. I am gonna go ahead and cast tongues. I speak all of them.
Nice. You recognize it as not only as an ancient language of the first epoch of the world, commonly known as Infernal.
Ugh.
And
I speak Infernal.
the words, yes, you know what this says also. The words translate to the footprints of Enchea.
Reference.
Roll
Out of
credits.
character.
Roll credits.
End of the first movie.
Yeah, you're plugging in the campaign we're currently in. How dare you?
It was named for a reason, I suppose. It took me a little while. Roll a history check, religion check. Actually, probably not religion. If you want to, you can roll a history check, Helen.
Okay, let me see here. That's intelligence. I have a 16.
You'd be jelly. I speak Klingon. What'd you get? I'm sorry, Cox.
16.
What was that? 16. You don't really know the details of the story, but you know that the footprints of Enchea is a reference to that we, after death, the people, the beings on the plane, exist beyond death. As in, nobody ever dies. There is no such thing as death. There is only becoming the footprints that we leave behind. And so those with great footprints are those that have changed the world in large ways. And so the footprints of Enchea are meant to mean that the great leaders that altered the course of history. But you have a specific memory. For a moment, you're sitting next to your brother in your class, and your instructor looks at you. It's a substitute instructor. Can't remember why. You don't know if you're if the usual instructor is sick, but it's a substitute, and he says he actually teaches you a different meaning. He says,
The footprints of Enchea, Helen Delodier. What does it mean?
Like,
The footprints, Helen. What do they mean?
go ahead.
that means that a person who achieves great things leaves great things behind when they pass.
A common understanding, of course, for those who are fortunate or unfortunate enough to have heard the tongues of Infernal. But, you are correct. But what about the children? Do the children not leave any footprints?
Like,
Your mother, for example.
well,
Go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
but with their parents and friends, I'm sure.
Everything's a ripple. The children change the world for their mothers and their fathers, and those ripples extend outward when their mothers and fathers change the world as well. My friend Helen Delodier, my student, young Helen.
And your brother's looking at you enviously.
Children are the Ostian Enchea.
And you snap back to it. You're back in your cell.
Cassius is looking upwards and murmuring to himself, "What? These goblins are crazy." It's funny because Cassius is crazy.
Mm-hmm. And Cassius, in looking around, actually sees Helen listening as well, and sees Helen chained. And then he looks to the chains and sees a small keyhole around the wrists.
I'm gonna take out the key and like sitting a bit far away, like 15 feet or so, like sitting on a stool or something. I'm gonna like just nonchalantly check if it looks like it fits.
From this distance, it might. It looks like it could. Helen, you see Cassius looking at you in that exact same gaze that Solar was just doing. That. Not that one. That one. No smiling. Nope. Bad solar.
I can't
No
just
smile.
stop.
No, I'm just kidding.
But I might have a spell for that.
I have an app for that.
Um, uh, you, Cassius, do you think it's true? Are there no children here?
Huh? I haven't seen any. Why?
It's like we have to, as soon as we can, we have to do everything possible to stop this. It's like if their children have been taken captive, they have to be freed. It's like, but we had. It's like there shouldn't be a war.
I don't have much of an opinion on these creatures. Let me ask you something though. See Cassius stand up from his chair and come a bit closer, like 3 or 4 feet, and sit on the ground in like I don't know what you call those, like a Turkish thing where you just cross your legs and sit on the floor.
Indian style?
Indian style, sure.
Pretzel
And,
style,
Lotus position.
crisscross applesauce.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that in forever.
Jump,
Well,
jump.
that was cool.
Crisscross Enchea.
That was good. It was close.
Throwback.
Go
It's
ahead.
the miggity Mac Daddy.
Oh my god.
Lift the roof up! Lift the roof
Sorry.
up! The roof is on fire!
All right. Go ahead, Cassius.
he sits down and he kind of fidgets a bit, like with his feet, like setting it up. He looks like he's kind of like a child who's trying to avoid something, but he slowly kind of comes around to it. And he says, "Wait, can you tell me about your god?"
Like, of course. It's like Palor is the sun. Like, but more than that, as the sun, brings the warmth of summer and things grow, Palor is life. With that, his way is that the world is not a dark place. Like, it's not a place that is frozen and lifeless. Like, Palor is all warmth, and that includes our will to do good for each other.
I think, I don't know if you remember, but you helped me calm down.
It's like, I hope so.
I thought maybe I could help you because I don't trust that pale one.
It's like, you shouldn't.
Alright, that was Cassius's bit. He's just sitting there silently now.
Okay. Then I'm going to ask you a question, Cassius, before we pull this to a close. As you hear the chanting and think about your dream and remember that chanting might have been for you, and remember the promises of the pale hobgoblin of Slasher. You hold the key in your hand. Do you unlock the chains?
I burned the key. I melted.
You melt the key down and the droplets fall onto your hand, but they don't burn you, or if they do, maybe they do, but it doesn't bother you. It's a good sort of burn, and they drip off your hand, but some parts of it, of the iron, are left over and solidify, and you just crunch them up in your hand and drop them to the floor. And that's where we'll leave off.
All right.
Cool beans.
Boring. You should have let her go, Cassius. What the hell? Just kidding.
We're still live.
Oh shit. I mean, great job, Cassius. Turn it off. Turn it off.
Is this where I stopped the broadcast?
No, sorry. Everyone, you guys want to say bye-bye before we stop the broadcast?
You know, plug your shit.
Yep. My name is Barker from Be a Better Game Master. Thank you for tuning in, and hope you enjoyed, and hope you enjoyed these awesome players, starting with Fox Winter from Seventh Realm Productions. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Fox.
I'm Fox from Seven Realm Productions.
He likes to rocks.
We do. I'm Fox. I like to rocks. We do roleplay roulette.
Roleplay roulette and film inflicted trauma.
And film inflicted trauma. Should I try to do another game rap?
Maybe.
Hold on. I don't look for parties. They come to me to keep them alive. And my guarantee, I'll survive when the team dungeon dives. And if you don't, I'll take the loot and sad news to your wives. And they can help me pass the time till the next expansion arrives.
Oh my goodness.
GG.
GG.
GG, yeah.
All right, Sean. Oh no, we'll end with you. It's your channel, Mitchell. Daniel Mitchell.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on, sorry.
Go on, Fox.
First thing you learn if you roll initiative to me, I've got such speed you'll think I'm motherfucking Moab Deep.
Can I go after?
Niche reference. Sorry. What's that?
Can I go after Solar? I'm trying to pull something up specifically for you, Barker.
Okay.
I think that one was even. Somebody else go. That was even worse than last time.
Go ahead, Solar.
I'm Solar. I have a channel where I upload occasionally when I have time, which I haven't had lately, videos about some really cool ideas that you could put in most campaigns, like how to innovate on existing concepts or new concepts that you might not have thought of. Even if you don't plan on using them, it's usually pretty interesting stuff. But like I said, hopefully soon I'll have some more time to upload them because I've cleared out like half my schedule, which is pretty cool, good. But yeah, next.
Mitchell.
Alright, everybody. I'm Tinho Mitchell. I play Cassius. Not Cassius, that's Solar. Goddamn it, I'm thinking too much of Cassius right now. He's doing really good. I play Yasha Area Drog, and specifically for Barker because you want something like this. It's the very being of my character. I am the bone of my sword. Steel is my body, and fire is my blood. Unknown to death, nor known to life. I have stood great pain to create many weapons to fight for my peace. Yet my hands will never hold anything ever again. Drenched in blood, I have no regrets. My life has only ever had one meaning. Alone on a hill of swords I stand.
Booyah, Fox! You like that shit? Woo! Oh, son! Yeah, Mitchell! Internet 5!
Go for a telekinetic high five. It's where you just stare at each other like this.
There's someone in the background, you just hear...
See, it works because you can do it below the. One of you can do it below the screen, so you're just like.
There it is. All right, finish it off, Sean.
I'm your one and only gaming beast. And by the way, just quick saying to Mitchell, I know what character you need to play in a Star Trek game. You got to be a Klingon, that's for sure. You got to be a Klingon.
All right.
Like a very traditional Klingon. Anyway, yeah. Solar.
I actually forgot to mention my channel. It's youtube.com/solarofficial, or just search for The Solar.
The one and only Solar, yes. And this is your one and only gaming beast, and this was the 8th recording. I have written it at 7, but it's the 8th recording of the one-shot Footprints in Enchea. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. And you know, if you're watching this, you can check out my channel. I do all sorts of good stuff. So, and any last words, guys?
You guys keep
D&D Let's Plays are the shit.
Last words?
Thanks. All these
this
guys make great videos. I'm thinking about the turtle in, and of course, Seven Realms Productions has the what is it? The best. The video that I'm thinking about is the game that shall not be named review, and of course, Be a Better Game Master has some great tips for game mastering. So you should check out their stuff, most definitely.
We
Most
may, hopefully, we'll have our review of Shadowrun 5 up soon.
Cool.
There we go. That's something I'd be interested in.
That's
And
something.
you should be interested in that too. So, for fellow Beastians, this was your one-on-one gaming beast for Death Milk of Doom.